Done, dusted. We are. All right.
Hey, Jack, how are you, mate?
Oh, mate, yourself?
Getting there. It's Friday, mate. Friday night, so it's fucking, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm just going to start shouting out to who's rocked up. We got Poocher Fishers in the house, Baker Perkins, Wizard King, Dribbler, Ghost, how are you, bruv? Milky, you mad cunt. Dribbler, Azfish. Yeah, sick. It's good to see you all rolling in. We're going to tonight we're going to do watch a 15-minute, roughly, I think it is. I don't know how long it is. 15, 20-minute bit of trench warfare in Ukraine, because that shit fucking amazes me. Like, we got footage of this stuff that we can like watch this back and study it and see it for what it is, taking the gore out of it.
Excuse me, the audio last week. The audio was trash last week. It was a setting. It was my fault. To apologise. We should be all over it this week.
Nah, fucking it's all good, mate. It's all good. Hey.
Can we just quickly shout out fucking everyone that stuck through that shit audio? Fucking aim.
You just went shit audio. As you said that, I didn't hear what you said.
I said just shout out to all the cunts that fucking stuck around for our dog shit audio there for about 10, 15 minutes, because it was terrible.
Yeah, it was. And it's fucked too.
And we nearly took the video down.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can't in edit, you can't fucking knock the first 15 minutes off. So I just started at that video. It's a fucking cock around. It's a cunt. So yeah, appreciate everyone sticking through that audio, because it's a nightmare in there. G'day TJ, how are ya? Budsy, how are you, bruv? Good to see everyone's rolling in. So what we're going to be doing tonight is, we're going to watch a video on Ukraine trench warfare. I'll give my spin on it, and then there's a lot of inquiries about Ben Roberts-Smith and that. You know what's really a fucking shame, and why we're just waiting for people to come in the chat so we can watch this video and get the commentary going, is that I spent a good nearly hour just on YouTube trying to find his training videos of when he was training to go to Afghan. And fucking Channel 9 has trashed him that much. I was just on my TV on the YouTube on my big screen. I had it on like full, just like fully right on my search bar, and it was just fucking all trash. It was just all fucking bullshit. You know, fucking fall from great height. This that. It was fucking horrible, man. It was killing me watching it. And
we might roll the short videos first while we're waiting for people to come in. And then, and then if we really need to, we can touch back on them.
Yeah, so, it was really fucking hard for me to get any good footage. So what I did, I've got these 3 small videos. One's 1 minute, one's 2 minutes. I think one's 3 minutes. Just to get an idea. You might have seen him, I don't know, in the past. It's just an idea to give you an idea, like just how he speaks, what he sounds like. And because I was trying to tell you, people asking me what's it like to be there, like sit down with him, and I just said he's really stoic. He makes you want to be better just from the way he sort of holds you accountable in his conversation.
You see the way he holds himself and the way he presents himself, the way he speaks, his body language. You'll just get a quick overall. And like Sarge said, there's not much here. We did struggle to find anything, but he has found three things that obviously stood out to Sarge, so I'm sure they're going to be fucking great. Anyway, I'll roll it. I'm sure Sarge is going to have something to say.
Go for it, bro.
This Anzac Day week, while the Dockers prepare to play in the 17th annual Len Hall commemorative game, what I'd urge all Australians to think about is the word sacrifice. What those men and women, those Australians, have done for us in all past wars and conflicts. What the men and women of today's armed forces are doing for us. And to think about what you, as an Australian, can do for your community, regardless of your job or your role. That, to me, is the important part of being Australian. Looking after your mates and doing your bit. I think for everybody on Anzac Day, the key things that come to mind are loyalty, courage, service and sacrifice. And I think they're key parts of the Australian culture and things that each person in our culture and in our society should always aspire to achieve. So from me, a soldier, Ben Roberts-Smith, #1 ticket holder for the Fremantle Dockers, I'd like to say thank you for your support and continue to support our troops. Go the Dockers.
Yeah, so g'day Kingy, mate, HSV. Peter, how you going, bro? Good to see you catching alive, man. Good to have you. Mark Suckatang.
Most Decorated Soldiers has opened up about why the 25th of April means so much to him. Victoria Cross hero Ben Roberts-Smith has spoken about his admiration for the thousands of untrained men who sacrificed their lives for our country. Here he is in his own words.
The spirit of Anzac, I believe, is what's inside every Australian. I think it's our values that were forged by the Anzacs and that tradition that's been carried on. I believe it speaks about who we are as a people and what we believe in, service and sacrifice, integrity, honesty, mateship, who we are as Australians.
The Anzac attacks had, in fact, been far more enthusiastic than was either necessary or wise.
What I'm thinking about is my family, my great-grandfather, my great-uncles, now from the 10th Battalion of South Australians, what they did at Gallipoli. You can't imagine the hardships of having to dig in those trenches, the weight of fire and the conditions. A saying we use is you'd be digging in with your eyelids because you're trying to keep your head as close to the ground as possible, to stay out of the fire, to stay alive. It's unimaginable, and that's something that makes me very proud to know that they achieved what they achieved under those conditions. Australians have always answered the call, no matter what state they were from, no matter what job they had. The guys put their hand up. They went to great lengths to volunteer. Some of them crossed deserts. Those guys went away with no training. They weren't soldiers. They were farmers and butchers and lawyers and doctors because they knew it was the right thing to do. They got off on that beach not knowing what they were going to face or what hardships were ahead of them, but they didn't hesitate. And when they got there, they did what they had to do. They looked after their mates. What they actually achieved and the way they fought is what really defined us. And that's what we do today. We go away because it's the right thing to do. I think that really shows what type of person, what type of people we are.
And join us tomorrow from 5 a.m. for a special edition of Sunrise.
And this one, just pause for a sec, mate. And I just who came in there? Was that Mark Suckatang and that? How's it all going there, guys? So what what I got out of that is you could hear there's a few things that you probably hear me say too, like when the shit's hitting the fan, man, you start digging in with your eyelids, man. That just made me put me into a thought process there that that he says that thing because it just made me fucking laugh. That's exactly what you do. So this next one is him speaking for a couple of minutes at some sort of business convention or something. So here's just some thoughts on that, guys. So yeah, hit mate, hit play.
If you have a culture of discipline, you can do that. And that comes from leadership. Because without that, being promulgated from your leaders, you can't succeed. For true success, to get to that point where your business will be a true success, not just good or successful, but a true success, you need to have a culture of discipline supported by an entrepreneurial mindset. If you get those two things, disco. Whatever you want will happen. But it's getting the two things together. I'm not saying people need discipline. I'm saying you need a culture of discipline. People need to know what their left and right of arc are, what the parameters are, what they're allowed to do, what is expected of them because of the standards you have set. And an organisation will only ever perform to the level of the standards it has. So if you're in charge, set high standards, because that's where that's where they'll go. And that's how they'll perform. It's really simple. A lot of the time though, we lose our way because we don't want to be accountable as leaders. And I say this in terms of, me gut checking myself. I'm looking at my guys, or when I'm talking now to our C-suite in Sydney, and we're all having these big strategy meetings and we talk about things. It's really important to have that self-awareness. And that's something I don't think that a lot of people understand. Being self-aware is critical if you want to be a good leader. You have to understand what your weaknesses are. And it's okay to show a bit of weakness. It's okay to show people what your faults are. That is actually what humanizes you to everybody else. The critical piece is you actually need to be able to talk to everybody. You cannot be, the democratic leader 100% of the time. That doesn't work, right? Sometimes you do need to be an autocratic leader. Sometimes you do need to just go in and make a decision because you know it's right and it needs to happen and it needs to happen now. It might be for a timely reason, but it doesn't mean you need to be a dictator all the time. What I'm saying is every single human being is different. They will all respond differently to different leadership styles. You will have a dominant leadership style, but more importantly, you need to understand what all the leadership styles are. And, textbooks, there's 6 of them, but what I'm getting at is you just tailor the way you speak to people, basically, right? To put it in layman's terms, to suit the personality of the individual you're dealing with. You're dealing with an introvert, extrovert, you need to understand what you're dealing with. Right? The sales teams, they love it. Extroverts, no worries. You walk in there, you can holler, you can ring the bells, turn the music up loud, and that will fire them up and they'll go and do what they're going to do. You try doing that stuff in finance? No chance. They go hide under their desks and they'll just be like, oh. So you got to balance what you're doing, right, with what you're with who you're talking to.
Right. So, hey, Jeff Papalia, how are you, bro? Big love to everyone in the chat, everyone that's tuned in for that. So you can sort of see, a little bit of insight on how he sort of ticks, that guy. There's some takeaways from there, and he said something that really, is that culture of discipline. I think everyone needs that in their lives to be fully, somewhat successful. You got to have that. It's not just being disciplined; it's having that culture. It's got to be around you, and you got to set high standards too, like you said. That's what makes us so successful as Australians in our leadership, is that we set high standards and we use our leading by example to set those standards too. And I think that's what puts us apart from a lot of other defence forces. And that guy there, you can see, you walk down the street, you just think, oh, fuck, that dude's pretty tall. But he's probably one of the most dangerous guys in the world. He's a fucking, like I said in his VC, he would have killed like 70, 80 guys on his own. He's he's insane, that cunt. And, he's got the Medal of Gallantry, the Victoria Cross, the highest awards you can get for bravery, mate. And our country's shit on that cunt, mate. Our government and our fucking country is fucking shitting on that cunt at the moment, man, making him fucking look like a piece of shit. And they're saying it's because of him. We're having dramas with recruiting across the fence, and because of him, the Australian public is undermining now and thinking twice about what our roles are as a defence force. Fucking dogs, that Channel fucking 9 cunts. So it really hurt me today to try and find some fucking footage of him training, man, because it's incredible. And I couldn't find it. I just could not find it. And I was putting in Pacific, Ben Roberts-Smith trains underwater in pool with weights. I was doing like just searches in the end, and it was just Channel 9, 60 Minutes, just fucking on him all over. It's fucking horrible. Fucking horrible. So, hey, Frank, how are you, mate? Good to see you. We got 28 in the house. So what we'll do now is we'll play this Ukraine video. I've only watched about 5 minutes of it. I just watched it to make sure it's a video I wanted to watch tonight. So after about 5 or 10 minutes, It's going to be his first time seeing it too. So let's have a look here. So
Sorry, I was just getting ready.
yeah, you're all right, bro. And if you got I'm about to pull a bucket while this starts. If you're having a beer or you're having a fucking whiskey or whatever, have a fucking drink, roll a scoob, sit back, and we'll watch this video. How long is it, Jack?
15 minutes, 28 seconds.
There you go. So 15 minutes with me gobbing off here and there, maybe 20 minutes. Let's sit back and watch this and see what happens, eh? And we'll do some comments.
So Sarge can just talk straight over it. I hopefully pause it when he needs to be. So
yeah.
Roll.
All right. So I'm pulling up you guys. So let's get into it. All right. This scares me already. Being delivered in a Scott soft skin vehicle to the front line. It's fucking insane. If we have to come to that windscreen right now, you're fucked.
Куда крыть? Философ питает, куда крыть?
You can see that gun in the back of the fucking Dushka, in the back of that ute then. That guy's a such a target. Such a target standing in the back of that ute. That's balls, man. Okay, what's going on? Ammunition boxes everywhere. So if a mortar round or a grenade comes in there, they're all going to cook off too. So that's fucking dangerous as fuck. That's a bit of ill discipline there. That just comes down to experience. The commander at the moment is being overwhelmed by what's happening in front of him. It's muddy conditions too. So it's going to be hard to fire and move forward. So obviously that guy was covering that guy while he was moving forward to a different position. So he's putting down covering fire. When you don't have any cover to hide behind, it's the only way you can move across open areas like that is by using machine gun fire, so that you're keeping them in their trenches so you can get across a bit of dangerous ground. But Link just sitting on the log there. See that Link just sitting on the log. So if something happens now, I've got to retreat. They're going to lose that Link. So that's that. You know, that's fucking stupid. Water bottles out in the open like that. Water should be on you. When you're moving, you should never be firing your rifle while you're running and moving like that, unless you're moving into like running straight out of a machine gun. What you're doing is the other guys are firing for you while you're moving, so that you can just concentrate on what you need to do. You're not doing two things at once. When you're in under fire like that, what you want to do is simplify the movements of your soldiers around you. So if you can take one more thing out, they don't have to think about why they're doing it. They can be better at the one thing they need to do, right? Which is getting to that position, getting into cover, get your firing position so that your mate can move to his position and you can cover him, man.
Sorry, I had to run off for a second.
Hey?
I had to run off for a second there if you needed me to pause it. I accidentally missed it.
No, all good, bro. That pause it now, bro. That there scares the fuck out of me right now. That scares the fuck out of me as a fucking leader, as a sergeant. No way in the world would I have my boys sitting around like that in a fucking hole, mate. That's their fucking grave right there. One artillery round, even a small round.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And what do you reckon about the way this guy's just sitting there laying, Sarge?
Well, once you're out of the fight and you're down there, I mean, it's up to you, but it just shows me their discipline and their experience, and on the commander too, because the commander should set the standard. And I would have thought, even though there's a lot of volunteers, not volunteers, a lot of guys that were made to come forward and fight, and they went and had a short training, and they're sort of learning on the job. I would have, if I was the Ukraine Defence Force, out of my real army members, out of the Ukraine army proper before they were invaded, I would have been pulling the corporals and the sergeants out of there and making sure they were the fucking team leaders amongst these men here. So in times like this, they could set the standard and let them know exactly and be there for them. So it shows me that there's poor discipline, poor experience. Their training isn't quite like this. They haven't trained for trench warfare because people didn't think we'd go that way. People think that the new age war is going to be always urban. It's going to be urban environments. It's going to be guerrilla warfare. That's the way forward now. It seems to be for conflicts. But here we are. We got 9 men sitting in a fucking hole, mate, and that's just not kosher. What I would be doing? So you go, what do you do then, Sarge? What the fuck would you do with these guys? Would you have them up there laying in the open? No. We Australians, we've got entrenching tools in our kit. It's part of our kit. If we're pulling up for half an hour, guess what, cunt? You're fucking digging in. You're going to dig your own shell scrape out there. So you're going to be out there, but you're going to be separated by 15 meters per man. And I'm going to have you in a clock formation around that, right? So that doesn't matter if someone comes out as a 3, 9, 6, 12, whatever. We've got that formation on the ground. We've already got the circle. We've got the harbour. We've got the strategic position already. The boys have dug shell scrapes. So now, if any artillery rounds land around us anywhere, everyone's okay, unless one deliberately lands straight in your shell scrape, which is fucking unlucky. You're going to be fucked, but you're the only person. If even a small artillery, even if one of the 81mm mortars that I used to fire lands in here, they're fucked. They're so fucked. And that's going to be a big punch for morale too. That's just going to go... And the next lads that have to go out to the front line on the next mission are going to have that fucking in their head going, oh, fuck. You know, they took out 10 of us at once, holy, you know, and it just sets a tone, an undertone of what's going to go. And you can avoid all of that.
When you say dig in, Sarge, how far down, how wide? Like?
Okay, so when we dig in, so like just above your knees. So when you're standing in it, you just, you know, it's about the same size as your knees. So you can literally lay down flat with your weapon on your chest and be below the level of the ground comfortably.
Yep.
Okay, so that's what you're digging. And that takes, when you're not fucking around, it takes about 40 minutes, man, to get that cunt in, right? And that's what I would do. Because that fucking pit is going to be a target for fucking Russian drones to send to their JTACs to fucking call indirect fire in, right into that fucking hole. That's what I'll be doing. I know if this is a weak point, this is a vulnerability. And I'd exploit it immediately. And just would not let my foot off the gas. Right, cunt?
And so when you get up and leave these dig-outs, do you fill them back in or do you leave them how they are? Or
what's that? Sorry, Jack?
When you walk away from once you've dug out and you're done and you're leaving now, what's your procedure then? Do you fill in?
We fill it in and try and leave the ground the way we found it, man. So we're not giving them sign of what we do and we pull up from the commander. But because we've trained and done that, the boys know exactly what to do. They've dug fucking shell scrapes so many fucking times. I've dug thousands of the cunts, thousands of the fucking shell scrapes over my timing. Like, and you just get good at doing it, and you get good at fucking filling it in and putting the fucking and covering the spoil and trying to make it look like the ground around you, and then we fucking go. But if you're in the middle of this shit and we've got to move forward and the fuck it's on, cunt, well, it's on. And what we'll do later when we get control, when we've regained the initiative, we've got control again, we've harbored up, I'll send some boys back with a little team and they'll go and fix that position up while we set up this new defense position. They'll go back and they'll go and fill those pits in and do what we do best. We'll never leave anything there. We'll never leave any rubbish. We'll get the enemy fucking nothing.
Yeah, right.
Let's go. And like you said, Jack, that guy just sitting there, no, Spellings would be there to ready. The butt would be in the shoulder and the barrel would be down, man. So you need to jump out any second and fucking get it on. And get it on. Wouldn't be not caught off. Not like that. No way. Not in the front line, bro. It's a false sense of securement for these guys. They think they're down in this hole that they're safe, and they're not. One of the most dangerous people. I'm looking for groups of men like that. If I'm a drone hunter, I'm a JTAC, I'm looking for groups of men like that. I'm looking for vehicles. That's my fucking primary target. Are the guns clogged with mud or something? Why is that? They shouldn't be, but I can see, you know, it's just like, here we go. Look, it looks like they're getting grenada. There's grenade. Let's go. This is where you should have a shotgun with a fucking bayonet attached to it. It'd be perfect for clearing this trench. Shotgun with buckshot, and I'd have a bayonet set to the cunt so that if he comes on them first, he can stab him in the throat, and we can still have the initiative by moving forward. And they haven't heard us pull the trigger yet. But their guns could be clogged because they're disciplined. I can see they just run their guns into the banks there, and then they just use it around to clear the mugget out of it, which is not a good practice. You won't see Aussies doing that shit. You won't see our muzzles clogged. AK, SKS, what do I like better? I mean, AKs are pretty nice. These boys have got a mixture of everything. AK, SKS, they've even got some HK 416s. I've noticed some M4s with suppressors. They've got some American weaponry there. Zigzag trenches, number one, good move. Yeah, the reason why Frack's brought that up, zigzag trenches, is how if an artillery round lands in your trench, like the worst thing that can happen is a big artillery round lands in there. Those zigzags, the splash, the explosion of that artillery round obviously can't travel down the trench. So those zigzags stops that shrapnel. You don't really care about the blast, but that's just going to knock you, bomb, get up on the arse and keep going. What you don't want is that shrapnel to hit you in those trenches. And that's why Frank pointed that out. Yeah, so that's I would have the more of a tight bend. So every corner they came to, every 6 feet, their question is there a cut around that, you know? And I'd have barbed wire in there, and you can't get through my trenches, bro. You're not going to. I'm going to make you want to get out and walk out on the outside on top. You don't want to be down in there. That's what I want to do. I want you to force you out. Exactly how these guys are right now. They're up and out of the trench, fighting in the spoil. That's where you don't want to be. So they have an advantage in the trench now. And there'll be a reason why they're up there. I don't know why they are yet, but there's a reason why they're up there. Because they're exposed
I believe all this grenaded pretty bad in there, Chris.
Fuck. Okay, so this guy here, he's shooting VGOGs, or what we would call M203. So this guy's firing grenades in behind him. That's why it looks dangerous that he's firing over his back, but he's not going to hit him with that. Boom. Oh, they're set on airburst too. So he's trying to land them about a metre above the trench. So he's fucking trying to fire the airburst out into it, get maximum effect with his shrapnel.
There you go. See all that barbed wire? That's why they're up top.
Like see, that's what I'd do. I'd force them out of the trenches just like that, but way better than that.
Oh, sorry.
That just shows you that the Russians have sort of got, you know, an idea. If we can get these cunts up in the dirt, man, we've got a chance.
And it looks like they've put their own plank there to cross it and then left it there, which is a bit stupid. But anyway.
Yeah, that just shows poor discipline on their behalf. Look, there's an open ammunition crate there. I can see there's a fucking rocket launcher up on the back there. As a command. So just pause it again, Jack. As a commander,
I was about to ask you, what's wrong with that scene there? Tell us everything that's wrong with that scene right there.
Okay, right now, as a commander, will come up immediately. I know I've got these surprised. We had the element of surprise on these guys. By the way, like Jack said straight away, that plank going across the trench, they forgot to retrieve that as the last blokes crossed that fucking obstacle. Yep, there's RPG up in the bank up there that's been left, the ammunition crate that's been opened, the way the barbed wire is down in there, it shows me that they've dumped it in there the first day they've done those trenches, and there's been no maintenance on that at all. Because you can see how the dirt's starting to cave in on it and the barbed wire looks old. You can just see it looks old. So that tells me they're disciplined for too, because they're not doing any maintenance in the trench.
And left the dirt right on the bank. Would you do that, or would you push it back like half a foot so I wouldn't collapse in?
The dirt? No. Okay, so we got a rule. When you're learning to dig in Australia, what we do is we have the spoils only allowed to be 5 centimetres high. So we got a guy, you're digging in, we got a guy on the bank laying on his guts, and he's got a fucking shovel, and he's spreading it right back 6, 7, 8, 9 metres right back. So the first spoil that comes out goes the furthest back. So obviously when you're deep in the hole, when you're digging, that's going to be hard to get that back. So we have our spoil only 5 centimetres either way, all the way back, and we're continuously every day. It's part of your job when you're giving your fucking schmear situation, mission, execution, and admin, execution and general outline, admin and commands and SIG. That's what it's like an acronym that we use to give you your individual jobs once you get into your trenches. So there'd be a guy that would be every morning when he does his morning routine, he gets up with stand 2, he cleans his weapon, he shaves, he fucking has a feed. All day he's working on the spoil on the trenches, making sure that it's hard to be seen from the air. Because what we do is I get fucking aerial photographies, maps, and the intelligence that I've got from any SAS or any reconnaissance that comes in. And as I'm doing my mission analysis, I'm studying that trenching system from the air, and I can see their weaknesses and their vulnerables. So that I'm thinking that as a commander, when you're defending in a trench system, I'm thinking, what can I see with an expensive camera fucking point on from me? I want to limit that. Even if they can see me, I want to make it confusing to what they're actually studying on the photo. So I'm thinking all that. So in this photo here, it's fucking wrong. And then these boys that are firing, moving forward by themselves without any command, this is a really good way to get your men dislocated in a firefight, and that's how you start to lose control. And if you lose control, because we're always looking as a leader for C2, command and control, always. And as soon as you lose it, you're trying to regain the initiative immediately to take that back and put them. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. Would it be better to be on the other side of the trench amongst the trees? No, you want to be able to see. You want oversight in that trench. So what I would do is I'd have a guy with a machine gun. Every time it was a straight part, I'd have a guy set up on that bank with a machine gun, and those boys would be moving forward under the fire of under the cover of that guy with that fucking machine gun. If he sees anything move in that trench, he fucking nails it with the 5-round burst immediately. Well, those boys could come up, and as soon as they can get back into that trench, you got the guy with the shotty and the bayonet, get him up front. Let's go.
So I just hit play for a second, Sergeant. Now I've just noticed there's 4 soldiers right there, all grouped up like that in that trench.
Yep. It's just poor discipline.
Yeah.
And they're eager. They're letting their adrenaline get the best of them. They're letting their emotion get the best of them. They want to move up and get eyes on. What are we moving into here? They're excited. They're scared. They're going through a bunch of emotions at the moment. So all their fucking defense strategy as a soldier, the professionalism of what they do in their particular job, you can tell they haven't been practicing it long enough on the ground, actually in the environment, training.
You told us information the other day of how you would have tackled that terrain. How would you have tackled this with your full platoon?
What, moving forward?
Yeah.
Well, straight away, what I would do is if I had a platoon, I'd have a section in the trenches fighting forward. Then I have my other 2 sections. I'd have one above on the right-hand side of the trench, and I'd have one on the left. And I'd have my machine gunners like this moving forward, and I have a machine gunner in the center with a guy in front of him with a shotgun and a bayonet. And we'll be moving forward under the cover of grenades. If I really don't know, and I know from the topography that there's fucking 40, 50 Russians in here, I'm going forward. Every time a grenade, bang, grenade. As soon as that grenade goes off, boys are going to rush that hole, that where the zigzag is, they're going to rush that 6-foot part, get set up, bring the guns up, get set up for that fucking next 6-foot part. We throw a grenade, we fucking rush in behind it, bang, we get set up. And the whole way, we just set up the whole way. There's no rush. We need to do it fucking methodically, and we need to do it fucking professionally. So you take your time, you do it fucking properly, and you do it with aggression. And when you do it that way, when you're set up and you're doing this and everybody's getting set like a fucking football play, bang, you execute, you get set up, bang. You take in any risks and considerations. Oh, fuck, here's a new risk. I give the boys, I try and come up with a fucking mitigation for the risk I can see here. I make sure all the lads know the new mitigation for the new risk, and then we execute. And that's where that controlled aggression comes in. That fucking, that rage you get is when you controlled, and we execute, bang, that's when you come in. Fucking hard, fart, violent, hit the grenade. After the grenade goes in, you get that set, we set that part, everybody comes in, we move, the commander sets up, I make sure all the boys are ready, boom, we come in again. And as you're doing that, it intimidates the enemy too, because it's hard to beat guys like that when they're set and they're using their controlled aggression to move forward, their sense of urgency, that where we use violence that's where we use that. I say it because you use that to the utmost, and that's what the pinnacle is of moving forward. under command of leadership like that. That's the best way to move forward. And every man knows what they're doing because there's no fuck this happened or it's all controlled by the commander and everyone's in the set play at the same time.
And I've just got one more question because my ADHD brain's got a lot right now. But anyway, if you had, say, you come up to these trenches, right? And as you entered it, they started coming at you and you had to hold down these trenches. How would you hold down these trenches?
Oh, if I hold down these trenches, bro, straight up, it's all about your machine guns and the way you set up. So what I want to do is I've got lots of tools at my access. I've got bastard wire, I've got barbed wire, I've got claymores, I've got trip flares, I've got booby traps, I've got sentries I can position outside the line. I've got snipers that I can put in ghillie suits that are outside the line. So as these boys are dropping into the trench, he's hitting them from the side, and then I might have a setup so that he hits the first guy, then retreats back to the line, and they're going to chase him, and they go into some killing ground that I've set up. So you've got a bunch of tools that you can use to make it really difficult for them to assault and really easy for you to defend. At the end of the day, you want to really look after your machine guns, and you want all your guns. So you want all your men to be able to fight at the same time if needed be. So you've got to think of a way that these guys can be useful, and there's not just one dude taking on the fight of these guys assaulting down the trenches. So you got to think outside the box, and the way you set up your trench formation of how can I initiate the most amount of men to engage the fucking attacking force? How can I do that? And that's why in our leadership courses, we go into that's why our courses are like 12 weeks where when you're doing your sergeant's courses and then you get put into all these situations and then you get assessed for 48 hours and then you go in and then you just practice all that leadership stuff and then you're mentoring other guys that have been maybe in Afghan. You say, what were your fucking trials and tribulations, bruv? And you'll expect that experience, and then we come up with our rectifications, and then we come up with our new standard operating procedures, our SOPs, and new TTPs, techniques, tactics, and procedures. We execute them, and we practice, and we practice, and we practice, and we practice, and then I'll put myself in fucking situations. I'll kill my section commanders off, so I can see how my section will go without the leadership of their section commander. I'll know myself and see how the lieutenant comes in commands. Yeah. Is that all communicated via hand signals or comms? Both, mate. I can do both. Nowadays, back when I was training hard, it was all hand signals and voice. But now we've got throat mics and everyone's got headsets, so you can be quite more. You can talk.
So just quickly, Sarge, I'll just put you on the big screen. How would you hand signal something like that? Just real quick, so the people can see.
Hand signal what? Sorry.
You were about to hold down that trench.
Yep.
And you were trying to get the snipers to cover you while you get your machine guns ready or something. I don't know. Make up a scenario.
Okay, so like for example, you got your gun group is going to be a fist. Your rifle group is this. Your scout group's this, right? So you might have so you got your rank slides. So you got your sergeants, your corporals, your lieutenants. You've got enemy. So it might be like so that was like gun group. There's enemy 20 meters in your own time. Fire. Hurry the fuck up. Get bullets onto those guys. It might be like okay, so that was rifle group. Get the section commander to come to the troop, sergeant. We've got to look at another piece here that we need to fucking harbour up and defend. Right, and so as soon as the guys would see those field signals, they'd be straight away, fuck, the sergeant needs you, man. We've got guys moving up somewhere. You need to get over there, Yeah. So it's stuff like that. It's just simple. It's just simple commands. Just simple commands like that. And we only do that when the enemy's imminent and we want to go completely wide.
So you said you're 15 meters or more apart. So does that get passed on, to say, or have you got visual on everyone can see you as you do that, or?
No, not always. Not always. So this is where we practice those Chinese whispers, where we will sit on a football field and we'll sit in the bush 15, 20 meters apart for sometimes 6 hours straight, just doing those exact things. And then we'll dig pits and we'll get into pits and we'll throw fucking foliage and make it hard to see. And we'll do the same thing until we get it right. until the guys that are giving fuel signals are being fucking deliberate with what they're doing, right? Like this, you know, when they're doing that stuff and then the guys receiving it understand exactly what's going on. At first, it's a laugh, you know, you're getting it. But then you realize that, fuck, there's enemy coming, man. You want to be able to make sure that signal, it's the right signal that the boss or whoever, because it could be coming the other way. The boys could have seen something that we can't see. And they're trying to get my attention, saying there's fucking enemy coming, you know. What are we going to fucking do? You know, do you want us to fire? You know,
but how would they tell you that? Like, what would be the signal for that?
Well, then straight away, they would just be getting the attention of the group next to them, and they would just be going, fucking, kill the Sarge. The enemy is imminent, you know? Straight away, if I got that, if I got that field signal, Sarge, enemy imminent, or hurry, I'd be straight down to that guy. I'd be bolting down to that guy so I can get my eyes on what he can see straight away. So, because I might want, it could be a plan here I could do. You just don't want to fire. You don't want you guys just to fire on the first enemy soldier that they see patrolling your way. You know, you want to be able to see what's going on here. Can I fucking put these into a kill zone where I can kill all these cunts at the same time? Or is there somewhere where I can dislocate these first three guys so this commander loses control of his section immediately and I've got the initiative in the ground? You know, that's what you always, so, yeah.
And if your scout seen something and had to pass it down to you as you were in formation and walking, how would he transform that?
Straight away, he would just put his hand up and he would just go bang. And as soon as I get that, I put my hand up, everyone will drop, boom, and will disappear, like just in the ads. You see all the army guys and they all just go down, boom. Right, so he's straight away, he's got oh, and he doesn't even look forward.
They work on, you work on their signal. They get the say in that scenario.
100%. He's my eyes and ears. So he's hearing and seeing everything in front. He can, like, that's what his job is. I've trained him and put all my training and effort into all of our exercises, making sure he's an awesome sight, like in the bush out to 200-300 meters. He's looking for, like I said, that slight reflection off a scope. That poor soldier that's got a watch on, he's been near disciplined, he hasn't can-craned up the face of it or he hasn't put a sock over it, and he's getting a glint of his watch. That guy that's just walked through the bushes and he's got a bit of white toggle cord sticking out the back of his pack because he's not disciplined and it's fucking bouncing up and down on dark green and it catches your eye. All these types of things, man, he's looking for, and he's also listening too. He's listening for, you know, it's hard to listen to the noises of nature, but he's listening for that tink of someone digging in. He's listening for that someone racking their weapon, that fucking bolt flying forward and slamming around into the barrel. He's listening for those things really hard and deliberately as he's moving forward because he's quite aware too. He's the first guy, so he's going to be the first dude to hit the, you know, to be shot at because they're going to see him come through the bush first. So he would just straight away, halt, Sarge, come to me, the first scout. We have an obstacle, major obstacle, or a minor obstacle, or, you know, I think this is a good place, and he'll tap his boot like this and point down and go, this is a good place for an RV. And then I'll come up and go, right. Because as you're moving forward and into the enemy, you're looking for rendezvous points. So if we do get into the shit and some of my boys get dislocated and they've got to leg it out of there on their own because they can't see us anymore, a rendezvous point is the last point that I point where every man knows where to go if we get separated. So I'll just go, bang, if we get separated, I'll touch my boot and I'll point to this spot. Until I do that again, that rendezvous point's open until we move forward. Then I go bang and I mark another rendezvous point, and that's the next one they'll go to if we get separated or what have you. And we're doing that all the way.
We have not run the giveaway yet, Mark. You have not missed it, brother. It's 500, or if it doesn't happen soon, me and Chris might just crack it and turn it on.
Yeah. No, you won't miss it, mate, because yeah, I don't know if that advertised for a live or whatever, but yeah, no, you know, you'll know, bro, you'll know. And yes,
we'll probably try and give 2 days notice, in all honesty, so everyone that does want to see it can be there. Sarge is also trying to really take in consideration, because a lot of us are in daylight savings now, and he's in Queensland. So that also puts a big spanner in the works. But we're going to make sure that everyone, especially if you're on the wheel, you need to be there. So
yeah, babe. Yeah.
Да
подожди. Мирон, подожди, пригнись, Мирон.
What's that? How do you manage that? How do you manage the dust? Do you wet down the trenches or do you the dust for anything?
Сука.
Nah, you just live with it, mate.
Давай, блядь, кидай вок, сука. Кидай. Бой.
Tim Al from Harvey Bay, how are you, brother?
Hey, James, how are you, brother?
Мирон. Пригнись, Мирон.
See, like that spoil that guy's lying on there, that big amount of dirt, like that just showed me they don't give a fuck. They just dug those trenches and put the dirt where the fuck they weren't even thinking about it.
Блядь, Мирон,
How
сука,
it's
хватит
obstructing their
быстро
view. Because you don't want to like that, because when you're in the trenches,
Мирон,
you want to
пригнись.
have a view out to as far as you can fucking see, you know? For obvious reasons. I know the troops in World War II were trained to recognize the sound of MG42s as the worst machine gun these days. What's the worst machine gun these days? Oh, in Afghan was the RPK.
Я думаю, накрыл, хуй знает.
Well, for the enemy from us, Mag 58, M60.
Даже квогов накидывай.
He's like, fucking hell, cut that hot brass nearly hit me. Yes, another thing you gotta watch out is hot brass coming out, bro. Fuck,
Пизда, я тебя базарю.
fuck it hurts, man. When the round goes down, you fucking
Растяну
turn.
сюда, Вокович,
Oh,
чуть-чуть. Чтоб сюда, если... Вот так.
just like a hot coal.
Чуть-чуть растяни здесь, Павел, чуть-чуть.
Those people that have shot guns and had it done, you know.
And to the welders out there, use my tube.
Минус нету. Есть. Сука. Трубы забрали? Да приди.
See what that guy's just standing there. See, that just shows me he doesn't understand how even to work in trenches because he should be stood back a metre from that T intersection because if an arty round lands in that trench, he's standing in there. He's
Look at
fucked.
all the shit in that pit.
Yeah, it's just shit. It's just rubbish and fucking weapons laying around. It just shows fucking bad, just no experience. Shit. That's what you want to come on. Someone like me coming along, or lads that are trained well, that you know take this shit super fucking seriously, man. Would love to come across this pit system like this.
Кроешь?
You know, it's gonna be easy work.
Вот еще перед тобой есть?
What about? I'm not going to go back. But what about the way that bloke was just standing there on the corner in the open? Wouldn't you stand behind the corner?
Yep, of course. Cover. You always. That's why I had Vietnam veterans hit me with fucking sticks. Can't
Yeah.
bang. That's an near miss, son. Bang. That's a near miss, digger. The next one's going to be in the fucking head. Get behind some fucking cover. Get behind the
Look at-
cover because the two things you get taught: cover and concealment. Concealment's all because
the
the
question-
enemy. What?
The question the soldier's actually asking, I just read the subtitle here. Are you covering? Gone. Is there someone else in front of you? So that's how untrained they are. They're literally asking each other in the middle of a war zone, are you covering? And I believe that was to the guy that he was talking to, the one we're talking about there in the corner. Oh, maybe Chris just froze.
I'm here, mate. Can you see me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Aussie Pug. How are you, bro?
Вперед растягиваемся. Вперед по чуть растянись.
One dead Russian. One dead enemy. That's another thing we do too. One dead enemy. Everyone yells out, one dead enemy. So we know how many's in the fight now. Right, there's 10 left. So we'd yell that out. Everybody would know that guy's fucking dead there. So we know that it's just process of information. The more informed you can keep your soldiers about everything that's happening there, the more data input they can have about their surroundings there, the better it is for them and the commander.
Well, even just there. So they won't get here. Careful. 6 in the front is working. 6 is on the right in the trench. Careful.
Oh, well, nothing like learning under fire, that's for sure. When you learn like this, you make one mistake, you're fucking dead. At least in an exercise, we can make all the mistakes and work out your weakness and vulnerabilities.
Где секс, блядь? Секс! Давай, держу тебя! Давай, иди, не с этой, стреляй, иди! Давай, давай! Не могу, заклинаю ХПшка, братанчик.
You guys still get to keep your sidearm and shoot these days up and turn return duster. Fuck no, brother. Fuck no. That's about the third time I've been asked that since I left too. I didn't know people thought that.
Вверх накрыть. Мы кроем с тобой здесь.
Yeah, moving backwards and firing like that, that's not the way you move, man.
ХПшка клинула. Дать того. Есть.
Okay, that open bag, that's where he puts his empty magazines. So that's for hot magazines. That's in a fight, and he's fucking banging. He's dropping his magazines. He puts them into mag catcher. So don't have to worry about them. When I fight, I used to tuck my shirt in with my belt, and I used to throw my magazines down the front of my shirt.
Все, отходим.
Hey Mick, another Mick, how are you, bro?
Секс, отход. Секс, отход.
See here, this is the perfect place for the enemy to fuck these cunts over with claymores, bastard wire, having a machine gun set up on a fucking what we call a fire lane into a kill zone. Bro, you know, they really missed an opportunity here with Russ as a defenders. All right, okay, so that's not bad. The way they're withdrawing there, they're moving them pedal pop. So one guy was moving while they had 3 fire, and that's how you want to move rearward, but you want a bit way more control than that. We call it the tunnel of love when we're moving backwards in a withdrawal from a fight. We call it the tunnel of love. The first 2 are firing like that, and you put your guns up and you move in and you run down. The next 2 come forward, and you just do this while you move, keep peeling back. Fucking sick to do. We usually do that when we about to get on the choppers. We'll be about fucking 400 out. When the chopper lands, we'll tunnel of love into the chopper.
Ты видел? Я охуел.
What's bastard wire? Bastard wire are those 3-foot star pickets you get. We punch them down to about ankle height, and then we get single strand barbed wire or razor wire, and we do it tight. And I'll put down fucking 50 of those 3-foot pegs and all different patterns, about a meter apart, 2 meters apart, and I run bastard wire in all different directions to every single star picket. So you're running up and you come to that. It's really slow to get through. If you try to move through it quick, bang, you're in the bastard wire, and then as you fall, I've got a machine gun on that bastard wire. So as you're falling into the bastard wire, I'm lighting you up with a machine gun. It's all covered there. And then if you want to move, because the only option to move around that bastard wire, I'm going to have a claymore set up on that and another machine gun. So now I'm going to channel you into the easier ground, and I've got that covered too. So you don't even get a chance to get into my fucking trench.
Шерлок, трубы забрали?
Я забрал трубы, которые эти. Вон я забрал.
That's right. Air support crack. Oh, we love you rappies, bro, when it comes to that. Fuck, some of the rappies man. Look at that place. Look at the fucking rubbish and grind shit everywhere. Fucking look at that overhead cover. That's not going to do shit. In fact, if a fucking arty round lands on that, he's adding to the shrapnel by putting those logs up there, because those logs are going to become shrapnel, you know. So you just got more shit coming down through you. Fucking about 400 meters per second is what shrapnel usually moves at. About 400 meters per second, maybe a bit slower, 380 meters per second. Same as subcasts, sort of like handheld pistols. Guns, they're about 300-400 meters per second. The assault rifles, 5.56, is coming at you about 930 meters per second. Yeah, Smoko, because they got back. It's a false sense of securement, Banana. They pull back to that thing because they've been down where it's a bit hot, and now they're back 400 meters where it's not, and you get this false sense of securement, thinking you're away from the danger, when obviously you're never away from any fucking danger, mate. Indirect comes in so quick. You've got fucking 1 second. So, yeah, what's that? You've seen the footage of that clearly Australian lad fighting for Ukraine, screaming at his buddy on the machine gun, pointing this way. You can't fucking fucking oath I have, bruv. They're called something company. What are they called? He's a patrol commander. Yeah, I've seen the Aussie lad, bro. He's a patrol commander, and he's in charge of an Irish lad, a Scottish lad, a couple of others. Yeah, and he's like, shoot machine gun. The gun's on the other. He's shooting this one. That fucking way, cunt. Shoot it that way, cunt. Yeah, I've watched that video, bruv. What's the name of the company? Fuck, just got here, Woodsy. I'm gonna have to go back and watch what I've missed later. G'day, Chris, Jack, and all the chat. Yeah, Woodsy, fuck, you missed a couple of good one, bro. I had a few videos of Ben Robert Smith, and we've just done a bit of Ukraine fighting in the trenches there, mate. Buzzknight, 177 slides, 600 feet a second, still kills Channel Bill Cocker here in Tumby. Yeah, nice, bruv. Yeah, so what did you think about that? You know, a little bit of fucking, you know, commentary. It's just amazing to me to see that, you know, like the Ukraine, like the soldiers over there, some of the special forces soldiers who have really got an opportunity to train the Ukrainian soldiers, man, against the Russians' fucking ill discipline and the way they like experience themselves. And at the end of the day, they're the invaders. You know, whether you like or not what those guys are doing in those trenches, someone's invading their land at their will. They were just farming. Like one of the guys I was watching this morning when I was watching a video to put on up today was a leading tattoo artist in Kiev. And he's been given a machine gun. He's been given an AK-47 and said, get down to the fucking recruiting. And now he's a squad leader because he's been doing it for 2 years and he's not fucking died. So they've made him a squad leader. And these guys were getting pumped. They you know, the Russians set the fight, the entrance of the fucking cellar they were living in or were firing out of on fire. And they're just down there laughing, like the dark humor they had in the midst of you know, nearly imminent death. They're like, oh, we're the last hope and Viva Ukraine. And it was just it's fucking insane what's going on there, man. It's but there's a real opportunity for Ukraine to train their soldiers up well. Just spend that extra 6 months just in the ground, fucking teaching them trench warfare. Get Aussies over there training them. I don't know. But preferably, I'd rather Ukraine and Russia stop fighting. That's what I'd like. I'd like that war to stop right fucking now. It's a stupid war, and it's stupid. 40 in the house, 27. What is that? 27. Show your support and love Chris Mel on their channel. Smash that. Cheers, Woodsy.
Chris, I know you're gonna hate me for this one, brother. But I've already made up another live, and if we could fucking quickly hit this one, I've already got the link, and we're gonna roll straight into it. And you can do your panel and everything. I just want to see what rewatches we're getting on this these clips that we're making like this. That's all.
Okay.
But I've already got it all G'd up. It's all ready to go. So it's backstage there whenever you want it, and we'll just live straight away, and it'll be like we never left.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. Right, everyone. If everyone can jump onto the next stream, it'll be in 2 seconds. You ready?